Hello, how y'all doing today? I just felt like I should, touch up on this topic. This is a real touchy topic, and I'm just like solely doing it out of respect. I'm doing it for educational purposes. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just freestyling this video. So um, FGB Duck, um, I didn't know anything about him. I guess that would be like more like my son's generation. Or a little bit older than my son. Y'all forgive me. Bear with me. So I did hear that song called Dead. Female Dogs, whatever that he did. I'ma just go ahead and say this. Let me see. In certain lifestyles that people have, they develop a numbness. What they see around them is considered norms. That is the culture that he was around. All of them made music that way. So, someone could make music and not really uh, think about the consequences like that. Lil JoJo was also a person that I used to watch in the past. I think he got signed to Waka before he even really made it famous like that. He posted his location. He was on a bicycle. Ops, came and took him out. But I used to follow them for real. They had so much talent. Um, so I'm gonna go to a certain person right here. This used to be my boy too. Okay, so Lil Mister, that used to be my boy too. Yeah, that was my little boy. I watched all these guys, man. I watched all of them, and unfortunately, most of them are gone by the hundreds, by the thousands, and it's very sad. Very, very, very sad. As I said before in one of my last videos, we have to change the mind frame. I don't know if y'all seen a video that I did before, but the KKK had openly admitted that Chicago is one of the places that they take guns to the railroad tracks and dump crack and guns and all type of stuff like that. So genocide is definitely a big problem in Chicago. On top of the problems that we already face because of discrimination that we face being the race that we are. So with all that being said, I hate that in certain cultures that is that way, and we have to change that. And I'm glad that Mama Duck, despite the circumstances, um, she's fighting, from what I know, for a difference, for a change. And I have to do more research on her. I didn't know anything about her until, I watched the HassinCampbell interview that he did. Now, I feel like a person really shouldn't even fix their mouth to speak on something like that. Yeah, I'm speaking on this. But as far as talking down on her and putting that woman down and all that, I'm not going to rock like that. I think a person that does this doesn't have knowledge of how things can operate in the world, how things can do in the world. It's easy to be a false accuser and say, you, if it wasn't you. And I just listened to this woman's story. She lost 2 kids to the streets. 2 kids to the streets. So that's more or less like a coincidence. She lost 5 kids in all. She was saying one was basically a miscarriage. One died to a house fire, and another one, I have to look up the term that she said, but if I'm not mistaken, it was like, well, that baby passed through. I'm not even going to fabricate any story. So she did lose 5 children, but I feel like you got to be careful speaking upon people's situations like that because I think he has 5 kids or near 5 kids. He never knows how his kids are going to grow up to be or his grandchildren. You never know what type of generational curses are on people's lives. Um, You just never know what type of generational curse on people's lives. But I know that God can make any situation that's bad into something good. You know, thank God that she still has her mind where she can be able to pick up the pieces. Because me, myself, I don't know if I'd be able to do it. And like I said before in another one of my videos, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. So think about it. If we losing children all over the United States and the world in impeccable numbers, why wouldn't God allow that situation to happen to somebody that can do something with it? And it is crazy, that is five, but God allowed that to happen for a reason. I also heard her story. She was saying two of her children died on the same day, days apart. I also did a video on numbers. You know, you can't make sense of somebody else's life and their situation. All I know is that she has her mind still. That's glory in itself. And from what it sounds like to me, she raised them the best way that she could with what she had. Some people may say, well, she was thugged out or whatever, but she still had her kids. She still was doing what she had to do, and she was doing the best that she could possibly do. But I will say this, it takes two. It shouldn't be all put on the mother, but it's going to be, because this world, that's just how this world is. We are the person everything falls down on. We the backbone. And the man is no longer the backbone anymore. Nowadays, the woman is the backbone. So I feel like maybe if some co-parenting would have been taking place, and it wouldn't have all been her responsibility, maybe things would have turned out to be better. And then people say, well, look how many baby daddies she had. Look how young she was. Okay, you have to let people live things down. You cannot harbor over something that took place years ago and just hold that to forever. So God allowed it to happen to Mama Duck for a reason. It's been a couple situations that take place in my life, and I just look and I stem them together. I say, wow, was it me or is it me? But in situations like that, you have to surround yourself around positive people and make sense of things, especially people who are spiritual. People who are spiritual, they really help in situations like this. So I would just advise anybody that's on the outside looking in on the situation to not judge a person because of what God has allowed to happen. That is a number of children, but children by those numbers of five, if it didn't happen to her children, it was going to happen to five other children. So why allow it to happen to five mothers or five children after they were gone, they were just gone. All they did was grieve and sit on the couch. This woman is getting up, she getting out there, and she doing what she got to do to change lives. And sometimes, I just read a Bible verse the other day. It said something to the effect. I gotta find a Bible verse for y'all. My computer is loading back up, but it said sometimes like the death of one can result to saving many. So maybe FGB Duck, the way that the song came out and everything, that might help people slow their roll on these type of albums, these type of behaviors. Not trying to say he was a person like that, but like she said that she's out there mainly for the mothers and the parents that lost kids. She said, kids, you teach them, and then sometimes they fall astray and they want to do their own thing. And I do see that part too. I understand that sometimes kids just get hard headed and you can't tell them nothing. They got their own mind sometimes. So all we can do as parents is train them up the way that they should go, and pray over them, try to keep them protected as we can. But you got some of them children that will sneak out the window, some children. But also we gotta look into therapy, we gotta look into counseling and things like that. But we just gotta look at people's conditions. I just feel like too, before you fix your mouth to say something, did you give anything for funeral expenses? Um, what have you done? What have you done? Yes, you have may have a platform. You may have jewelry, you may have whatever, but what are you doing to save lives? I no disrespect, you know what I'm saying, but I'll just go ahead and say it. If a person is also always talking about somebody getting a snot box rocked and getting a TV turned off, that's no different than putting an album out, and I just really want to say that, even though a lot of times when that's being said is saying that somebody got it, but it's like it's glorifying it, kind of like, it's a more respectable way to come at things. Like people say, you know, it's just a way to do things. It's a time and a place for everything, and this isn't the time or the place to do anything like that. If you want to do something like that, you call a person, you talk to him one-on-one. But what is that going to change? His life is gone. If anything, you want to provide example of his life and show people, especially people in the industry, how you need to be careful when it comes to these ops and different things like that. We just got to be careful. So I hope somebody got something out of this message. Blessings to Mama Duck. I'm sorry for your pain. I'm sorry for your loss. I hope you keep striving. I heard your story. I watched a little bit of it. I'm going to watch more when I get off of this. I may do another video later, but I apologize because I know sometimes you have looked at yourself and you said, well, dang, am I cursed, Because the devil, he wants you to feel like that, but I just can't speak upon nobody negatively when they going through such a traumatic or tragic things in their lives, because I just feel like it's unfair and we should be here to build each other up and not to tear them down. So I'll talk to y'all later, and I appreciate you.